feelings or if they break down. We as a society judge men for experiencing natural feelings and emotions. Given this taboo, individuals in our culture, especially men, feel the need to keep their emotions to themselves and might not feel like sharing with others. Which will help us break this taboo. Talking about your emotions with a person is a coping mechanism that not only might help things, you get something off your chest, but will also additionally encourage the other person to open up about something that they're stressed about, thus breaking this stereotype. Just speaking about this to someone will make you feel heard and less alone. If you're feeling overwhelmed, reach out to a friend or family member. Speaking with a healthcare professional can also reduce stress and give us better learning, healthier coping strategies. Additionally, make sure that the psychologist that you speak with is professional and puts your mental well-being before anything else. So let's move on to stress relief activities and exercises. Self-awareness. Try to observe your thoughts as an outsider. Take note of what's going on, but without judging or attaching to the details. Then just let them go. They'll come back again, that's for sure, but continue to do the same thought watching and they'll slowly lessen. This is otherwise called as being mindful. Another great tool that you have on hands at all times is the ability to tap into your senses, an old meditative trick that you can use anywhere, anytime. By tuning into your senses, see, smell, touch, taste, and hear, this will automatically slow down the brain. Spend at least 1 minute on each. What can you see? Look close, look far, colors, shapes, and light. What can you hear? Hear as many sounds as you can and keep looking for new ones. Don't focus on any one, for too long. What can you taste? This is less fun when you're not eating, but try to last the minute. What can you smell? Focus on the smells around you. What are they and how many can you find? What can you feel? Send your attention to the parts of your body that have contact with something like the earth or chair or table. If you're looking for some relaxing, calming effects or background music, YouTube is an amazing place to go and search for them. Schedule some time for de-stress. Set aside time each day, as much as you can spare, to intentionally wind down. For example, the body scan relaxation technique works by slowing down your thoughts and bringing your awareness back to your body. When you're strapped for time, you can even do a 5-minute deep breathing audio meditation, which is great for fast and effective stress relief. For those who enjoy playing games, you can have some fun while de-stressing with some stress relief games, which is available in apps or even in the website called stressreliefpig.com. Yoga is now a well-accepted and practiced stress management technique across the globe. Let's finish this session, the stress relief activity session, with a 5-minute video clip, which will allow you to relax. Please feel free to follow the instructions given in the video.
You've been learning all your life.
I hope you all feel relaxed after the activity. Now moving on to the next session, which is holistic well-being. So holistic well-being is ideal for those who are looking to live a happy, healthy, and balanced life because it integrates all main aspects of wellness. To have a true holistic understanding of our well-being, we must look at our physical body, mental health, and emotional body. Wellness is the condition of being in optimum health. It is a holistic blend of physical, mental, and spiritual well-being, the result of consciously choosing to live a quality life. The path of natural health and wellness is a lifelong journey that requires personal responsibility and commitment. Holistic well-being emphasizes the importance of the whole human entity and the interdependence of its parts. It is the recognition that what affects one part of system affects the whole body. A holistic approach to health is multifaceted and mindful of the consequences of our habits and actions. So let's take a look at the elements of holistic well-being. Balance comes in physical form, emotional form, and spiritual form. Being in balance may mean something different to each individual, which is the reason why the activity you choose is personalized. The whole person is seen in a relationship to the world in which the person lives. By pinpointing and understanding the source of obstacles that prevent you from living life fully, you will be able to transform all these aspects of your life. We can understand that well-balanced life encompasses all our parts, not only the physical body. Our goal is to serve, educate, support, and empower our students, improve and maintain overall health and well-being through healthy lifestyle choices to create a culture of wellness among us. So let's take a look at the components. Number one is physical well-being. Taking care of your body is a powerful first step towards mental and emotional health. The mind and the body are linked. When you improve your physical health, you automatically experience greater mental and emotional well-being. The physical aspect of life includes our health and the way we treat our bodies. This includes what we consume, how often we exercise, keeping our bodies clean and fresh, as well as our posture and how we carry ourselves. Things we can do to attain physical well-being. Find a way to be physically active every day. This could be anything from joining a gym or just dancing by yourself in your room. Do something that you are comfortable with and make it fun, whilst also seeking out new challenges. Choose exercises that suits your personality type. Don't forget those sports you used to like to play as a kid. Exercise is a powerful antidote for stress, anxiety, and depression. Eating a well-balanced diet will keep your body healthy. Eating foods that are gut-friendly and that reduces inflammation. Maintain a regular sleep schedule. Try to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every day. Get a dose of sunlight every day. Sunlight lifts your mood, so try to keep at least 10 to 15 minutes of sun per day. This can be done while exercising, gardening, or socializing. It is important to eliminate alcohol and avoid cigarettes and other drugs. Our body is the most precious that we have, and without it, we cannot exist. If we don't stay healthy, we certainly cannot embrace and enjoy all the other aspects of life. For that reasons, loving our bodies is the very first step on the road to happiness. No matter where we are starting from, no matter how irreversible we think our bad health may be, it is never too late to start changing our habits. A healthy body equates to a healthy mind. And by taking better care of ourselves, we will increase our confidence, motivation, and control over our life situations. If you do not take care of your body, you will limit your ability to embrace other aspects of your life. It is more than just looking and feeling good about yourself. It is about living a life of longevity and limiting the suffering from potential illness and disease. Let's move on to spiritual well-being. Spiritual wellness or well-being is a personal matter involving values and beliefs that provide a purpose in our lives. While different individuals may have different views of what spiritualism is, it is generally considered to be the search for meaning and purpose in human existence, leading one to survive for a state of harmony with one's self and in others, whilst working to balance inner needs with the rest of the world. Spirituality can sometimes be the most overlooked aspect of life. It can be defined as the relationship between ourself and the world. In many ways, our spiritual life is what that defines our core foundation, purpose, identity, and our reason for living. It permeates in what we think, say, and act. It is also how we view ourselves in relation to the world. Our spirituality determines our position of personal power. We can let the world crush us, or we can let it sit in the palm of our hands. Our relationship with ourselves has a deep impact on our relationship with others. Things we can do to attain spiritual well-being. The most common spiritual well-being activity is praying to God. The other activities include when we express ourselves through things like art, music, and writing, we are developing emotional and spiritual intelligence. We are turning our ideas into intentions and reality. Emotional well-being. Emotional well-being refers to the feeling component, to express and display emotions comfortably, effectively, and in a healthy manner. Feelings of self-esteem, self-confidence, self-efficacy, trust, love, and many other emotional reactions and responses are included within this component. This also involves building emotional resilience, seeking help for depression, anxiety, and stress-related issues. Emotional well-being should not be viewed as the absence of emotions, but the ability to understand the value of your emotions and using them to move your life in a more positive direction. Emotional health is an important part of overall health. People who are emotionally healthy are in control of their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and they can cope with life's challenges. They can keep problems in perspective and bounce back from setback. They feel good about themselves and have good relationships. Being emotionally healthy does not mean you are happy all the time. It means you are aware of your emotions, you are in touch with them, you can deal with them, whether they are positive or negative. Emotionally healthy people still feel stress, anger, and sadness, but they know how to manage their negative feelings. They can identify when a problem is more than they can handle on their own. Emotional well-being is the ability to deal with whatever comes your way. This is not the same thing as being tough. In fact, someone who is emotionally fit can recognize when they are struggling and ask for help without shame. Emotionally fit people understand how stress affects their life and they work to deal with it effectively. As professors and staff members, it is really important to model emotional well-being, which will give the students an opportunity to learn how to manage their own emotions. Let's move on to mental well-being. Improving our mental well-being is vital because we all want to feel good, both about ourselves and about the world around us. We all want to get the most from our lives. However, there is evidence that good mental well-being is not only about feeling good, it is also important for our physical health and for us to help us achieve the goals that we set for ourselves. Evidence suggests that there are 5 steps that we can take to improve our mental health being. The first one is to connect with people around you. Second one, to be fit, to be active. That's something that we already spoke about. Find an activity that you enjoy and make it a part of your life. Keep learning. Learning new skills can give you a sense of achievement and new confidence. Number 4 is to give to others. Even the smallest act can count, whether it's a smile, a thank you, or a kind word. Number 5 would be to be more mindful. Be more aware of the present moment, including your thoughts and feelings, your body, and the world around you. Some people call this mindfulness. The best way to start a holistic self-care path is to create a personal well-being plan. It is important that this plan is personalized and meaningful for each and every one of you. Start by categorizing the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual parts, and then choose one activity. Practice the technique that resonates and will serve you in that area in the most enjoyable and most meaningful way to you. Let's talk about self-healing. So self-healing is a major part of holistic well-being. Self-healing is an important aspect of life which will help us live our ideal lives. Before we take a look at how we could live our ideal lives, let's learn about 2 concepts. The first one would be the consciousness and the subconsciousness of the iceberg. You may have seen or heard about the analogy of the iceberg in the sea, which was advocated by psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud. The mind is like an iceberg. So 10% of the mind constitutes to the conscious mind, while 90% of the mind constitutes to the subconscious mind. The conscious mind contains all of the thoughts, memories, feelings, wishes of which we are aware at any given moment. This is the aspect of our mental processing that we can think and talk about rationally. This also includes our memory, which is not always part of the consciousness, but can be retrieved easily and brought to awareness. Moving on to subconscious mind, is the subconscious mind is a reservoir of feelings, thoughts, urges, and memories that are outside the conscious awareness. Most of the contents of the unconscious are unacceptable or unpleasant, such as feelings of pain, anxiety, or conflict. When you fall asleep, it is your conscious mind that is sleeping. However, your subconscious mind will never fall asleep. It works 24 hours of the day when you sleep, even when you sleep. Your subconscious mind is controlling your body, your breathing, your organs functionality, your cell growth, and everything, including your reality. It is believed that your reality is 90% a reflection of your subconscious mind. So if you can change your subconscious beliefs, you can also change your reality. Let's look at an example. Imagine you have consciously decided to make studying more exciting for the students. You have decided to put in extra time and effort to make the students more involved in studying. You have consciously scheduled time aside in the morning at 5 a.m. before work for this particular activity. If internally, subconsciously, you believed that you can't wake up in the morning, or you have too much work, or you can't concentrate on work, or you don't have the time to actually put in the extra work, guess what is going to happen the next day? You will press the snooze button and go to sleep. On the other hand, if subconsciously you believe that you love your job, you love putting that extra effort, and you love working for the students every day, then guess what happens? You don't even need an alarm clock. You will wake up in the morning automatically, excited to prepare for your next class activity. So let's talk about the Carl Rogers humanistic theory. According to Carl Rogers, a human is able to form beliefs about themselves and the world as young as when they are 7 years old. Imagine this. The view that we have about ourselves and the world right now at 30, 40, 50 years of age are actually the beliefs that were formed as young as when we were 7 years old. Let's learn about self-image and ideal image. Self-image is how we see ourselves, which is important to good psychological health. Self-image includes the influence of our body image on our inner personality. At a simple level, we might perceive ourselves as good or bad people, person, beautiful or ugly. Self-image affects how a person thinks, feels, and behaves in the world. Whereas ideal self is the person who we would like to be. It consists of our goals and ambitions in life, and it is dynamic. That is, it is forever changing. The ideal self that you had during your childhood is not the ideal self that you have in your later teens or late 20s, etc. A person's ideal self, if you look at the image on the screen, a person's ideal self might not always be consistent with what actually happens in life and experiences of the person. Hence, a difference may exist between the person's ideal self and actual experience. This is called incongruence, where a person's ideal self and actual experiences are consistent or very similar. A state of congruence exists. Rarely does a total state of congruence exist. All people experience a certain amount of incongruence. The development of congruence is dependent on unconditional positive regard, which was provided by the parents during the childhood. Carl Rogers believed that for a person to achieve self-actualization, that we must be in a state of congruence. What is self-actualization? The organism has one basic tendency, is to strive, to actualize, to maintain and enhance experience as an organism. This is called self-actualization. According to Rogers, we want to feel, experience, and behave in ways which are consistent with our self-image and which reflect what we would like to be like, our ideal self. The closer our self-image and ideal self are to each other, that is, the more congruent we are, and the more higher sense of self-worth we have. As we prefer to see ourselves in ways that are consistent with our self-image, we may tend to use a lot of defense mechanisms like denial or repression in order to feel less threatened by someone of what we consider to be our undesirable feelings. An example could be a chain smoker whose ideal self-belief is to be healthy might even deny that smoking is unhealthy even though it is known universally that smoking is really injurious to health. A person whose self concept is incongruent with his or her real feelings and experiences will defend because truth hurts. So the next time when you observe any incongruence with any students next time, it is important to understand that this student has had difficulty or has difficulty in nurturing from the parents. Then it is also important to understand that childhood experiences do play an important role in the person's life. The best way to deal with their behavior would be to have a one-on-one conversation and communicate with them in relation to their behavior, and to be non-judgmental and listen with complete empathy about what they have to say. One of the questions that is often asked when speaking about the Carl Rogers humanistic theory is that if the subconscious beliefs are formed as young as 7 years old, do I have to live with these beliefs until I'm 70 years old? Can these beliefs change? So these beliefs can be changed, and self-healing is the only way through which we could attain congruence by bringing our ideal self and self-image closer to each other. And healing is how we could change our subconscious belief, which constitutes to 90% of our reality. Healing could be a difficult process, but at the end of the day, such a worthy process. It is really worthy for overall well-being and being your highest authentic self. Healing is difficult, and do you know why? Because it is unknown territory. Your conscious mind is so used to the patterns of self-destruction that it does not know how to adapt with the changes that's yet to come. So how do we self-heal? The first thing would be to pay attention to what you are feeling and thinking. A necessary start for achieving congruence is to notice our internal state. This also means going beyond what your rational mind might want to say about your state to what you really feel. If your job is boring or unfulfilling, yet you keep doing it without looking for an alternative, then you are incongruent. Number two would be to be yourself, be your authentic self. If you're aware of yourself, if you're aware of your values, then you need to be it. I'm sure you know many people who put on an act, especially in their jobs, but possibly in social situations also. If a student can experience you as a real person, they'll far more likely trust you and your authenticity. This will lead to form a professional bond that will enrich both yours and the student's life. Self-reflection is one of the best things that you could do for yourself. One thing I've learned from all these years of working with young people affected by trauma is that we can change our brains. Research says that our brain is like plastic. We can change how our brains function. We can create new habits, in turn creating new reality. By self-reflection, by becoming aware of what we really are, what are the ways through which we could become better people? We can write it down in journals. We write down your thoughts. Meditation is an amazing way through which you can explore your own thoughts. Now that we are aware of our subconscious beliefs, we need to accept it. So taking responsibility and take a breath, you can change this for sure. Now compare this with your ideal self. Ask yourself this question: what are you trying to bring into your life through this goal? Where do you feel like you're constantly hitting a wall or hitting a roadblock? And meditate on it. Write down all your limiting beliefs and that stop you from heading towards your goal. Now that we are aware of our thought patterns and our belief system that limit us from being our best self, we are going to change them. We can rewrite our belief system. Believe as though you have already changed your goal, and write as if you have already got what you're praying for. Do this for 30 days continuously. You can also use affirmations. Affirmations are more like self-talk. If you're nervous before writing an exam or before a huge presentation, talk to yourself out loud that you're good enough, that you believe in yourself. This technique can feel silly in the beginning, but it is life-changing. Meditation is a good way to identify your self-beliefs and patterns. More than that, it is also a good way to focus on your goals and to stick to your goals. Vision board, while some people like to talk to themselves using affirmations, some people are more visual. If your goal is to have a work-life balance, then take a look at the internet and collect some pictures. Ask yourself, how would it look like if I have a work-life balance? Put all the pictures together and look at it first thing in the morning and the last thing before you go to bed. This is also another powerful tool in becoming your ideal self. Thank you so much for listening. And I have left my contact details in this slide so that if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email and I will do my best to answer the questions.
Hello. Participants,
Hello,
if you
ma'am.
have any queries, you can post in the chat box. If there are no queries, it means that your session is good and they have understood everything. Participants, please, if you want to ask any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, you can post in the chat box. Really a very good session, ma'am. We
Oh,
loved it.
thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
So
Some-
I have also put my email address in there. Even if anyone wants to shoot me an email, that will not be an issue.
Ma'am, there is a question posted there. What is the difference between tension and stress?
Tension and stress. I think there are two different words for stress, and tension is something that we use in our colloquially in our day-to-day lives. But stress is a medical term which is used by psychologists. But it's essentially it down to the same meaning. Thank you very much.
Participants, if you have any more questions, you can post in the chat box. How diet influences tension?
So like I said, it is important that we look after our body. It is important that we take a look at the diet that we are having. It does have a huge impact on how we stress. And there is also this other term called as stress eating, where even without knowing, even without being conscious, sometimes when we are stressed, just to go to a happy place, we start eating. So it is important that we are aware of this habit and try to reach for healthier alternatives like fruits and vegetables. And it is also important to know that, to not take a lot of um, um, processed food, a lot of non-veg food and things like that.
And one more question, does our thought cause stress?
Yes, thoughts do cause stress. I think that's one of the main reasons why we feel stressed. So let me ask a question to Manoj Kumar. So you're asking me if thoughts cause stress. So start being aware of your thoughts. So start being aware of when you get stressed. Take a note or write in your journal about what are the thoughts that cause you to be stressful, and then think about it. And when we write down what causes stress for ourselves, it will help us understand what are the situations that are putting us to stress, and we can use that to move away from that stressful situation, and that will help you to manage your stress levels.
And how to reduce strong anger?
So if you have a strong, like if you're really angry, if you feel that you're irritable, then it means that you might be affected by trauma when you were younger. So you need to think about what are the triggers that causes you to be angry. For example, some people, as a student, you might get angry if your parents or your teachers ask you to study. So if that makes you really angry, and if you're having an outburst for that particular situation, you need to think about why that is causing you to become angry. Is it probably because does it feel like they are not trusting you to be independent? Like, you need to look more into it. You need to ask yourself more questions to really understand where this anger is coming from and address that.
Any more
I hope
questions
that
from
was
the
useful.
participant side? Therefore, shall we wind up the session? I request Swatika madam to propose the vote of thanks.
Okay, ma'am.
Swatika ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. First of all, I would like to thank the resource person, Ms. SWATHI MAHENDRAN, youth worker, Australia. She has clearly explained how the stress can be managed. Also, she has explained about stress relief activities and exercises. The video you had showed will help us to get relief and also from stress. She has also clearly explained the holistic well-being and how to get balanced in life, and what are the elements in holistic well-being, and really all those sessions will be highly informative, ma'am. So on
Thank
behalf
you,
of
ma'am.
our institution and Department of Commerce College and Department of Computer Science and Engineering, I wholeheartedly thank the resource person for her valuable speech. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, participants. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Swati ma'am. Thank you for spending your valuable time. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a good day, ma'am. Bye.